Hello, I'm Rhiannon Jones and welcome to Showcase, where we bring you all the biggest and best news in art, culture, style and entertainment from here in London to Istanbul and across the world. Coming up on this week's show, we chat to the world's #1 hypnotist and best-selling author Paul McKenna about his impressive career and his latest self-help book, Power Manifesting, the new science of getting what you want. Sounds good. We bring you our top 5 rundown of the best things to see and do in Doha. For In Style, we meet the hugely successful entrepreneur behind international beauty brand Earle, now author of an incredible 36 books. We hear all about her work as a wellness expert and find out her top tips to living a longer, healthier and happier life. We take an in-focus look at American artist Doug Aitken, plus of course our top stories from the world of entertainment news in this week's Snapshot Roundup. But first, it's my absolute pleasure to welcome to the show international best-selling author and the world's most famous and best hypnotist, Paul McKenna. Paul, thank you so much for talking to us here at Showcase.
Thank you, Rhiannon.
You are the world's #1 hypnotist, hypnotherapist. It's quite niche. How did you get into it? Where did it all start?
So I was a radio broadcaster back in the 1980s, and I was interested in yoga and meditation. And I went to interview the local hypnotist when I was working in local radio. And I had a bad day that day. I'd broken up with my girlfriend, I'd rowed my boss. So I showed up for this interview stressed out, right? And the guy said to me, look, rather than you interview me, I think I need to do some hypnosis on you. And I said, knock yourself out, you know. Benevolently skeptical. Anyway, I sat back and relaxed. And suddenly my mind became calm and all my problems lifted and I could, think with clarity. So when I opened my eyes, I went, this is great. So that's how I became interested and then, fascinated and then obsessed with, and then it sort of took over my life, really.
And you've been doing it for years and years and years. I know it's a very difficult concept to explain, but how does it differ to something like therapy?
So in traditional old-fashioned therapy, it's all about analysing your problems, So you talk about it, you try to get it off your chest. And so with modern hypnotherapy, what we do is we use a trance-like state, or certainly a state of focus and concentration, whereby you can move outside your problems, imagine different things, and also I can talk to your subconscious mind, your unconscious mind. So the conscious mind is the mind you actively think with all day long. It's the little voice that chats away in your head. The unconscious mind is your larger mind. It drives all of your wisdom and all of your behaviors. And so through hypnosis and visualization and communication with the unconscious, we can get people to change unwanted behaviors like quitting smoking, losing weight, becoming confident, or also people already very good at what they do to be even better.
You mentioned there people who are already very successful. You have plenty of celebrity endorsers. When they come to you, are they looking to try and solve a problem, or are they coming to you for help to be better? Many
performers, they're already very good, like someone like James Corden. But he wanted to be even better, right? Roger Daltrey from The Who, he said, he's already a very confident person, but he goes, I want to be in a peak state of performance when I walk on the stage and perform to 1 billion people at the Super Bowl. But then sometimes it'll be like Stephen Fry wanted to lose weight. I can only tell you this because they've spoken about it publicly, so it's in the public domain. So sometimes it'll be, an everyday kind of problem, like Ellen DeGeneres, she wanted to quit smoking. So on her TV show, we did a process to, so people could see it and understand how it worked and be inspired by it.
Well, you also have many a book. You're an international best-selling author. Your most recent is Power Manifesting. Tell us a little bit about that. What techniques do you talk about in that book?
Manifesting now is an acceptable mainstream word. The Cambridge Dictionary have made it Word of the Year, and it's really a way of imagining something and bringing it into reality, right? So in a sense, everybody manifests. Some people are real good at it though, right?
Yeah.
Like anybody who's a super achiever. And whenever I work with a super achiever, I try and model how it is that they do what they do, right? And it comes down to usually they imagine something first, and they imagine how the thing, would work, what could go wrong, what could stop them, etc. And then they take massive action. So this book is different to the other manifesting books. So Regular manifesting is two-dimensional. So it's writing down your goals. And if you're really clear about your goals, you are 10 times more likely to achieve them, right? Than if you just wish for something, like New Year's resolutions. Yeah. If, the other way of two-dimensional manifesting is to look at pictures of a house you want or a car you want, yeah? Three-dimensional is where you imagine you've achieved it. You can see it, hear it, feel it, right? Fourth dimensional manifesting, which is the real power manifesting, is different. So this is because it's to do with the way we code space-time in our mind, right? So for me, the timeline moves out in front of me. The past is behind me. For some people, the past is on the left, the present's here, the future's over there, and other people have it arranged differently. There's no right or wrong way. But what I do is I take something I want to have happen, so I travel into the future, and I imagine it's there, and I leave it on my timeline, and I step back and ask what happened before and before and before, until I get back to this moment. Then all of my creativity, my energy, my motivation knows to make that happen.
Paul, is it difficult to just have a normal conversation with someone without being asked by them to help them resolve something or achieve greater success?
Yeah, I mean, people obviously ask me, can you help me this or that? And I don't mind because, like anybody would, if you saw someone, or one of your friends was upset, you try and cheer them up, and, some people, they say, hey, look on the bright side, have a cup of tea. I tend to dive into somebody's unconscious and change things around, do some interior decorating in their mind. And, it's just, it goes with the turf. But then a lot of the times, well, I'm off duty. So, I would only do it in an exceptional circumstance.
And just one last thing to our viewers, is that time of year where we're starting to fall away from our New Year's resolutions. How do you get everyone to get back on track around now, please?
Right. So the problem with New Year's resolutions is they're wishes, right? And if all we had to do was wish, we'd all be living in mansion houses and living lives of luxury, etc. So, wishes, they're lovely, but they've got no strategy. So this is the strategy, right? If you want to achieve something, try this now, right? I'd like you to imagine you've already achieved it. What will you see? What will you hear? And how will you feel? So whether it's quitting smoking or vaping, whether it's losing weight, whether it's meeting that particular person or achieving in your career, what's it going to be like? Now, some people go, well, I can't imagine it. Well, just imagine things are a bit better, a bit better, a bit better. Do it in increments. Right, so imagine you've achieved what it is you want to. What does it look like, sound like, feel like? Next, ask yourself this. Were there consequences to achieving this that perhaps you hadn't thought of? Did it mean that, there was some sort of negative aspect? Maybe did you burn yourself out trying to achieve this or upset people? And just check that, right? A little ecology check. Next, ask yourself, what could stop you, right? So, what could get in the way? And how will you overcome that? How are you going to head those off at the pass, right? Now, having achieved your goal, this is the next bit, the final bit, just work backwards. What happened before you achieved it? Just before. And just before that, and just before that, and just before that, till you're back to this moment now. And so you now have a timeline, a series of steps you can take, and now concentrate on it every day. Think about it every day. So we get more of what we focus on. Far too many people think about what they don't want. I don't want to be overweight. I don't want to be single. I don't want to be shy. Think about what you do want and make it come true. Manifest it.
I'm going to manifest my way through 2025. Paul, thank you very much. Best of luck with the year ahead. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Rhiannon. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks again to the ever so charming Paul McKenna there. Now, Qatar has recently been remarketing itself as a standout global sporting location, not least for football, having successfully hosted the 2022 FIFA World Cup. And this year, it's set to see even more of the beautiful game, with Doha announced as the host for the men's under-17 World Cup in November. So the region can expect another huge influx of tourists in 2025. But hosting football tournaments, well, it isn't the only thing Doha's famous for, as Esther recently found out there are plenty of other attractions putting Doha on the map. Here's this week's Top 5.
Hey everyone, I'm in Doha, Qatar's amazing capital city, famed for its incredible museums, and we thought we'd give you a speed rundown of some of the other cultural gems this city has to offer. If you're wondering where to hang out, shop, and eat, don't worry, we've got you covered. Here's our top 5 must-see spots in Doha. At number 5, Souk Waqif. If you're looking for aromatic spices, colorful textiles, and souvenirs, this traditional market is just for you. Don't forget to explore the hidden alleyways filled with cafes, and make sure to try your hand at haggling. At number 4, the National Library of Qatar. This isn't just any library designed by Rem Koolhaas. It's an architectural marvel. A haven for book lovers, it also serves as a lively community space. Here you can explore rare manuscripts and books while delving into the rich heritage of the region. At number 3, Mina District. With its pastel-colored buildings and cheerful vibe, it's probably the most Instagrammable spot in the city. You can experience the charm of this old port that was once the hub of trade and fishing. It's also a great venue for dinners, offering many options. At number 2, public art spots. As you explore Doha, keep an eye out for the striking public art installations scattered throughout the city and even the deserts. From massive works by renowned artists like Richard Serra and Olafur Eliasson to Rashid Johnson's newest piece called Village of the Sun, these artworks reflect Qatar's contemporary spirit. And finally, at number 1, Qatar Cultural Village. This waterfront destination is a hub for creativity, featuring theaters, galleries, and beaches. Wander through its vibrant streets, enjoy looking at all the beautiful murals you come across, catch a live performance, or savor mouth-watering cuisine from around the world. Now you know where to go like a local. Happy holidays!
Thank you, Esra. Let's head over to Istanbul now for this week's In Focus and an artist that defies definitions of genre.
Have you ever felt lost in the chaos of the city? Overwhelmed by the endless stream of information? Or powerless in the face of a fast-changing world? Situated in this historic, castle-like building, ominously known as the Haunted Mansion, Borusan Contemporary invites us to explore these questions and more. American artist Doug Aitken has brought together his work from over 2 decades here under the title Naked City.
I want to make an exhibition that was very much about the contemporary world and how we're navigating the future. And I think that having this here with the Bosphorus across from us, standing in Europe and looking out at Asia, for me is very symbolic and it's very powerful.
Aitken's work is a visual feast, combining technology, nature, and human elements to create immersive experiences. One of the works on display, 3 Modern Figures, Don't Forget to Breathe, portrays glowing figures grasping empty spaces as if holding phones. Their pulsing bodies symbolize both isolation and connection, highlighting the blurred line between the physical and digital. Aitken believes that one of the values of art is to create a space where time can slow down. This now permanent piece, Ascending Staircase, moves slowly, encouraging viewers to pause and engage in the present moment.
Every day we're trying to figure out how to navigate things. The speed of information, the idea of our identities, the ecology of the landscape around us. And to me, that's one of the valuable aspects that art can play, is art can be something that can provoke us to question, to be aware, to slow down and reflect on time. And so to me, really, art is a tool. It's a tool to help us move forward.
By placing people at the heart of his work, Aitken creates stories that make us think about ourselves, our surroundings, and how we connect with others.
They're for you to interpret, for you to kind of create your own connections. I'm not interested in making artwork that tells you what to think or how to do things. I want things that empower the viewer, that allow you to feel that you have your own ideas and your own visions. And to me, art is an energy source. And without that, what is society?
And according to curator Jérôme Sanz, the show isn't about any one city, but represents a global one, a concept that became even more real with the coronavirus pandemic.
It talks about this moment of stop where we were all rethinking who we are, what are we doing, why are we going this direction, what is the meaning of our life, what is the meaning of all those problems that the world is living. Are we not just ghosts in those cities where our presence is super ephemeral, is not really important?
So, in the end, it's an invitation to pause and seek answers to these profound questions, and to appreciate the beauty and complexity of our interconnected world. Hatice Meryem Gelgör, TRT World, Istanbul.
Time now for InStyle, and this week we're joined by an entrepreneurial powerhouse from the world of beauty and well-being, Earle, MBE. Liz, thank you so much for talking to us here at Showcase. Now let's talk about Earle, the global beauty brand, because you sold that many years ago, but it's huge. So how does it feel to have achieved so much?
Do you know, it's great to build a brand and watch it grow. I think it's what every entrepreneur aims for, isn't it, really? It's what you hope. But I think also it can really take over your life. You know, you suddenly become this kind of powerhouse of business. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs start with an initial passion. And for me, it was research and writing and understanding more about botanicals and the way the body works in terms of living well and looking good. And then, you know, launching a skincare line, which was meant to be a kind of a bit of a side hustle. And then we built it into this huge brand. And then you become custodians of a business venture that often takes you away from your original passion. So I've gone back into research and writing about wellness, which is my passion. Yeah. But I do see it. I see it in airports. I see it, you know, in chemists,
it's everywhere,
department stores, and kind of give it a little wave. And it's a bit like watching your children grow up and leave home, and you kind of wish them well, and you know that you birthed them, but actually they take on a life of their own. And
you have to let them go. But it's nice to still see it everywhere.
It is really good. Yeah, and it's nice to see it doing well. Yeah.
But you're not one for standing still, Liz. You are a mother to 5 children, you're a broadcaster, you have your own very successful podcast, and you've written an incredible 36 books.
Yeah,
your latest, no?
Okay, no, I have, but most of them are quite small.
Oh,
but yes.
Still 36 books.
It is,
this is still very impressive. Your latest is A Better Second Half.
This is the one, actually. Out of all of them, this is the one.
You say that. So why? Why is this the one when you've written 36?
Because I've been writing now for nearly 40 years. So I'm in my 60s. And I think this book really puts together pretty much everything that I've learned along the way. I've made a lot of mistakes, actually. And there's a lot, I think, for midlife women that we don't know. So I talk about things like gut health and eating more protein and lifting weights and longevity supplements and hormone health. But actually, it's really a message for the sisterhood. It's a manifesto for midlife women, because I think there's a lot of gender inequality when it comes to female healthcare, particularly when we age.
So in this book, do you offer tips and techniques and name a few, a handful of the top techniques that we should be doing in our second half?
So how you start the day is really important. Those first kind of 10, 15 minutes. The little things you do, whether you do a bit of tongue scraping. I drink electrolytes in the morning, so that's sodium, potassium, magnesium in a glass of water.
You're a big fan of weightlifting as well. It's important, isn't it, from a certain age in particular?
Seriously, we start to lose muscle mass, and you should really be able to lift at least half your body weight and hold it for a good minute. And if you can, do some squats. Do some bicep curls with some weights. I usually would just wear a weighted jacket when I'm out and about, or put weights in my pockets.
How does it sit with you, this pivot in your career? You're all of a sudden, you know, the voice, the UK's, one of the UK's top voices in wellbeing.
Do you know, I kind of feel that I've come back home, because I started as a health and wellness journalist 40 years ago. So I kind of think that I've gone back to my original passion and purpose. I think that's another part of the longevity puzzle, isn't it? That we need our purpose. I think I became better known for face cream because the skincare brand was such a success, and it kind of overshadowed everything else, which was why I wasn't, you know, too sad to move on, because it enabled me to go back to write about well-being, which is where I started. and to have a history of that. You know, I made a lot of mistakes decades ago, so hopefully now I've got the knowledge and the experience and a bit of wisdom maybe to be a trusted voice, I hope.
A huge amount of wisdom, and a lot of that comes from your guests on your podcast, the Liz Earle Wellbeing Show.
Yeah, I love the podcast, and we record mostly online, so I can talk to people all around the world, which is great, having access to great brains. I mean, people like Dr. Jason Fung, who's the kind of the godfather of intermittent fasting. I was with Professor Tim Spector recently, Dr. Louise Newson, who's an amazing menopause doctor. So I think it's these academics who don't necessarily seek fame and fortune. They just want the best for, very often, women's health. And I think to be somebody who can help amplify that and bring out the best in them, because ultimately I'm just a communicator. You know, I'm just communicating other people's research, stitching things together and hopefully offering them in a very simple, attainable way to try and inspire and encourage other women not to give up, but to actually know that we can make a difference. We can be more joyful, we can be happier than we've ever been if we just know a few of these little tools as to how to achieve it.
Liz, it's been such a pleasure. You're a communicator, you're inspirational, you're an influencer to many, many people who will be doing a lot better thanks to all the advice that you're giving. I've got my work cut out for 2025, so thank you very much.
Thank you for having
It's
me.
been a pleasure talking to you. The ever-youthful and fascinating Liz Earle there. Right, time now for this week's Entertainment News Roundup Snapshot. Here's Esra.
Thank you, Rhiannon. Well, what a night it was at the 2025 Golden Globe Awards. On the first Sunday of the year, the event brought together Hollywood's film and TV stars once again. If you missed it, don't worry, we're here to share all the highlights you need to know. The award season kicked off with some quiet, fancy looks as the red carpet was awash with celebrities from Angelina Jolie and Andrew Garfield to Kate Winslet and Nicole Kidman. Emilia Perez was the big winner at the Golden Globes as it took home 4 awards, including Best Film in a Comedy or Musical. The Spanish-language movie follows a cartel leader who stages her own death to start a new life. The Brutalist, a movie about a Hungarian architect and his wife who built a new life in the U.S. after World War II, won 3 awards, including Best Actor in Drama for Adrian Brody. One of the biggest surprises of the night was Demi Moore's win for Best Actress in a Comedy or Musical, marking her first ever Globe. Her comeback performance in The Substance, about a fading celebrity who resorts to an experimental process to reach a younger and better version of herself. Moore emphasized on the importance of self-love while talking to the press after the ceremony.
We all know that there are certain kind of conditioning, societal conditioning, but what we really have to look at is what we're choosing to buy into. Because it exists, it doesn't make it the truth. And I think it all goes back to how we choose to hold ourselves. And when we value ourselves, when we have enough self-love, and that then will reflect out in the world, and then the world will follow and change to accommodate how you are reflecting of yourself.
Fan favorite Wicked, the box office smash based on the popular Broadway musical, claimed the Globe for cinematic and box office achievement.
You know, we love movies. They're the movies that are timeless, that have been there our whole lives, and we wanted to make Wicked feel like it's always been there on our shelf, but we just never picked it up and watched it. That's why I love these actors here, because they are all timeless. That was our number one thing, is someone who felt from outer space, but also timeless and also grounded. That's 3 very difficult things.
On the TV side, Shogun earned Best TV Drama along with 3 other awards. Other repeat winners were Hacks for Best Musical or Comedy Series and Baby Reindeer for Best Limited Series. Colin Farrell was named Best Male Actor in a Limited Series or Motion Picture made for television for The Penguin.
The Golden Globes have been very good to me through the years. They really have. They've been incredibly generous to me. One would think there was a fix.
But Weather and Fillmore TV, if they gave out awards for love stories, then surely the winners will be Zendaya and Tom Holland, because the couple just got engaged, and you heard that right. The internet is buzzing with engagement rumors after Zendaya showed off a dazzling diamond ring on her left hand at the Golden Globes. Though neither Zendaya nor longtime boyfriend Tom Holland has officially commented, Both People magazine and TMZ reported that the news was confirmed by their sources. The couple met while filming Spider-Man: Homecoming in 2017 and have been together for 4 years now. And while Zendaya didn't take home an award for her role in Challengers, that dazzling engagement ring had everyone talking. Well, the 82nd Golden Globe Awards was filled with glitz, glamour, and many surprises. And remember, winning a Globe can shine a spotlight on movies angling for the prestigious Best Picture prize at the Oscars. And with that, that's all from me now, Rhiannon. Back to you.
Thank you, Esra Teşekkürler. Well, that's it from all of us here at Showcase. A big thank you to all our guests this week. And don't forget, you can catch up on all our episodes on the Showcase YouTube channel. Coming up on next week's show, we'll be bringing you more exclusive interviews and, of course, all the biggest and best news in art, culture, style and entertainment. We'll see you then.